we can confirm that on the very day that Sir Keir Starmer was outlining Labour's policy to stop the boats, another almost 200 Channel migrants crossed the English Channel in 4 small boats. And in fact, just as Sir Keir Starmer was delivering his keynote address, one Border Force vessel arrived in Dover Harbour with 113 migrants on board. So that really gives an indication of the scale of the problem that Sir Keir Starmer will inherit if he becomes the next Prime Minister. And you heard he wants to go down the road there of creating this Border Security Command on the back of course, a rejigging of the whole structure that was announced by the current Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, just in December of 2022, when he announced a small boats operational command, bringing together pretty much all of the strands that Sir Keir Starmer wants to bring together. But an indication, I think, of just the almighty challenge that any Labour government would have if they get into power is just how organised and how profitable this trade is. This week now, including today's arrivals of just under 200, more than 650 migrants have crossed the Channel. That is almost £2 million that the criminal gangs have made just this week alone. Since the start of the year, we're now at 9,200. Well, that is over £270 million that the criminal gangs have made. So just like the war on drugs, which is very well organised, which is very profitable for the organised criminal groups that are involved in that, the small boats, people smuggling gangs are just as sophisticated, and it is no easy task trying to get after them and trying to dismantle them. They'll have their successes, as they do presently, but whether they can actually get on top of it and completely dismantle the gangs is probably unlikely.
It's so interesting hearing the Labour Party saying what this needs is graft and what this needs is the Border Security Command that they're setting up. Because, Mark, as you explained, there's already a small boats operational command. It was announced a year and a half ago. And I've just been looking at the differences, really, between what Rishi Sunak announced a year and a half ago and what Sir Keir Starmer is saying he'd do today. They're both saying more staff. For Rishi Sunak, it was 730 more staff. For Keir Starmer, it's 1,000 more staff. I mean, I don't know what particular difference that marginal increase would do. Both want to bring people together across government. Both want to involve the military. Both want more cooperation with the French. It seems like the only profound difference here is that Keir Starmer wants to bring in MI5 as well.
Yes, indeed. I mean, it's a bit of a slap in the face, to be honest, to those very hard-working members of the Small Boats Operational Command, including the National Crime Agency, to suggest that really it's not been working. They're not going after the criminal gangs in the way that they should. They have successes, but it is, as I've said, very difficult to dismantle highly organised groups that have had years now to get their supply chains in place. Where the small boats are manufactured, for instance, in the backstreet factories in China, to the smuggling operations from Asia right into Europe and to the beaches of northern France. There are very significant and sophisticated supply chains in operation there that are difficult to actually get a handle on and to dismantle. I think one key difference, if we're to take anything out of what Sir Keir Starmer is saying today, is not this rejigging of the Small Boats Operational Command into the Border Security Command. It's the ending of the policy that Rishi Sunak is in the process of implementing on Rwanda. There will be no third party, according to this government. But that then throws up a very significant challenge for Sir Keir Starmer, because he's saying he will employ hundreds of additional staff, these processing workers, to get the asylum claims processed very quickly. But then if you do that and you can't return these people to Afghanistan or Iran or Iraq or Syria, what do you do with them? That's why a third country, according to the government, is so important here. If he doesn't have that option, he's still going to have thousands of migrants languishing in this country with nowhere to remove them to.